Welcome back everyone. In today's video, I'm going to be looking at how we can write some CSS styling into our HTML web pages. Now the first thing we're going to do is to open up our work folder. So I'm using my web development folder. I'll create a new folder here and call that CSS. Then I select this folder to open. So now we'll create a new file and you can just call it web page with styles.css. .html. So you can just set up this HTML file as always. So now after setting up your HTML file, go into the folder you created and open up the file. So now I select this file and open up in Google Chrome. Okay, so now we can write some basic styling. The first thing we're going to do is to create a new paragraph and add some default text. Okay, so now that we have this text, the easiest way to write CSS styles in HTML is by using the inline method. So we have three ways of writing CSS into our HTML web pages, and that is using the inline method, internal and external. Now inline method is when you type in the CSS styles into one exact element, while the internal is just like the example we saw in example.com. So if we open up that website again and do Ctrl-U, you can see the way the CSS styles are written here. This is using the internal method, which is writing the CSS code inside your HTML web page. But the last method, and which is the most widely used, is the external CSS, which is writing your CSS code in an external file, then including it into your HTML file. So we'll look at all this as we progress in this course. So let's refresh this page and we can see our text here. So go back to your code editor, and to write some inline CSS, we use the style attribute. Now in the style attribute, you can see a whole bunch of options that you can choose from, a whole bunch of CSS properties. Now the first thing we're going to do is to change the color of this text from black. Let's change it to, let's say, blue. And now you can save this file, then go back and refresh, and you can see we have a different color of text. Now another thing we can do is to add a background color. So now with that background color property, the background of this text will change just like this. Then lastly, we can add a font size. So if we want to increase this text a bit or make it smaller, so you can see the generic font sizes that you can use, but there are a bunch of ways to also do this using some specific CSS units. And one most widely used unit is the pixels. So I set to 20 pixels and save and refresh this. You can see we have a bit, text has gotten a bit bigger, and the higher I go, the bigger it becomes. So that's it. but it's more recommended to use the rem attribute. Now, one rem is the default font size. So if you refresh this, you can see one rem is the default font size, but then 2 rem is now double that. You can see, so it's more recommended to use rem. And if you don't know what the corresponding rem value is of whatever pixels you want to use, let's say we want to have 20 pixels but want to write it in rem, you can just go online and type in pixels to rem converter. Okay, let's remove VS Code. Whatever website you find, you can just put in your pixels and gives you the rem value. So 20 pixels is 1.25 rem. So we go back and add that value into the font size, and there we go. So that's an easy way to add styling into your HTML elements. But in the next video, we're going to be looking at a better and more organized way of adding styling, which is the internal CSS. So see you in the next video.